Hello and welcome back to Fire Emblem Three Houses. We are locked to exploring this month. But before we get started with that, got some supports to do.
You. Just what are you up to?
Well, if it isn't Lawrence.
Yes, it is. Try not to sound so affronted. And you're just whimsically wandering the monastery grounds again, I suppose?
Oh, naturally. After all, I really do adore the Garrick Mock Monastery.
No, I think not. That impish look on your face does not suggest innocence. You are up to something.
Lawrence, control yourself. Let's not start throwing around baseless accusations. It's not proper. This monastery is packed with 1,000 years of history. Well, 5 years shy of 1,000 if we're going for accuracy. Those pillars, these walls, even the floor, they've all seen more than we can possibly imagine. Our distant ancestors may have walked these very halls. Doesn't that excite you?
Perhaps if this were a discussion about art, but I'm afraid walls and floors are not sufficiently interesting to hold my attention. Nor will they suffice to distract me from what is plainly suspicious about you. House Regan was on the brink of collapse until they suddenly revealed you as their legitimate heir. That was only a year ago. Where were you before then? Are you even a true heir to House Regan?
If I weren't truly of House Regan descent, how do you imagine I acquired my crest?
A crest is insufficient. I am referring to your noble disposition or lack thereof.
Well, that's what I came here to hone, after all. I can only hope that you will assent to instruct me in the art of snobbery, Professor Lawrence.
I do not think you grasp the significance of the responsibility you bear. Do you even know what it means to lead the Leicester Alliance? I take no pleasure in saying this, but much of the chaos in our ranks right now is due to the failings of House Regan's leadership. I intend to set things right, and once I expose you for the fraud you are and reclaim my rightful place, that is precisely what I will do. To be blunt, it would have been better had you never shown your face here.
Sheesh, that guy. He just can't be reasoned with.
Huh. Is he implying that, he being Lorenz, that he or his family were in line to be in the leading position in the Leicester Alliance if House Regan fell? Certainly possible.
Why do I have to organize the library? I'll get in trouble if it's not done, and I can't think of anyone who'd do it for me. Since no one else is around, though, time for a little break. What are those sounds? Ha! Yeah! Leone, always at it. How exhausting that must be. What's this?
Hey, what are you doing? That's mine.
If you leave it lying on the ground, people will think it's trash.
I usually wear it around my neck, but I put it down while I'm training so I don't get sweat all over it.
Well, people won't know that, will they? You should have just left it in your room.
It's a good luck charm. If I don't keep it close by, then what's the point?
How stubborn of you. I will say it looks to be a very well-loved charm.
Captain Gerald gave it to me when I was a kid.
Of course.
If it's that important to you, you should wash it. Then again, I suppose it is made of wood. Have you considered coating it with resin? That would preserve it nicely. You could even accessorize it, make it look cute.
Thanks, but Captain Gerald made it especially for me. I'd really rather keep it just as it is.
Well, if that's how you feel, I won't argue with you. Me personally, I'd choose a cute necklace over a dirty old charm any day.
I'm sure you would. But Captain Gerald didn't treat me as some young girl. He treated me like a person who mattered and equal. He taught me everything. I don't want to forget his teachings, so I'm going to keep this charm just the way it is.
Huh, what do you know?
I don't understand why she was... why Hilda was out there when she was supposed to be in the library. But whatever. Okay. I don't think we have any certifications to do. Yeah, we've got poor Marianne still stuck on level 3, and nobody is quite level 10 yet. So we can move on to our exploration.
A hero's relic. However, could I know something? Still, it is heavy on my mind. The stone within the sword. A glow of red. Oh, it is nothing.
Normally it's the sword and the stone, not the stone and the sword.
How's that? You spend too much time roaming the monastery.
Excuse me?
If you're looking for something, try less aimless wandering. Do you even know who the enemy is? You can't know why without knowing who. It's none of my business anyway. I'm just here to take care of enemies who get too close.
I'll have you know I spend exactly as much time wandering the monastery as I ought to.
You're skilled. Why won't you battle me?
Lord Lenato's rebellion may have been quelled, but the unrest in Fargus isn't dying down anytime soon. The Boar Prince should hurry up and claim the throne, rather than letting old customs hold him back.
Thought you didn't like him.
I bet the enemy is using this assassination nonsense just to sneak in and raid the pantry. What do you think, Professor?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, I'm right, all right. My animal instinct is telling me that the enemy is after our best meats.
Oh, have you been tasked with guarding the monastery as well? Such a stir over a single letter. But I suppose the Archbishop's safety is too important to risk.
Professor, is it true you got caught in the fighting? I'm so thankful you made it out alive. I don't know what we would do if we lost you.
Why do you care, Dorothea?
The monks declined my offer of assistance. They said that no one from Dusker is to be trusted, especially now. Given the circumstances, I cannot fault them.
I think you can. I think you can. Racisms are never acceptable.
To figure out our foe's intentions, we need information. Lots of it. Or any, at the least. For now, try going around the monastery and looking for suspicious locations. You should also try chatting folks up to see if they know anything. Once we've got things narrowed down, let's meet up and compare notes.
Order me around, Claude.
Can I ask you a favor?
Okay, yeah, if it's a favor, that's different.
I don't know who's to blame for all this commotion, but it's frankly a huge inconvenience. With everyone stuck on guard duty, our study and training time has been drastically reduced. Indeed. For now, let's do all we can to find and dispose of our enemy.
Thought that would make her happy. Guess not.
It seems there were forces opposing the church, beyond Lord Lenato. I never thought such forces could exist in this world. I suppose that may be true.
Thinking, have you heard of the War of the Eagle and Lion? It was the battle that won the kingdom its independence from the Empire. Even the Church of Severenz had no choice but to recognize the courage of Lug, the King of Lions who emerged victorious. The Church awarded him a crown and the right to govern the Fargus region, backing him in his bid to found the Holy Kingdom of Fargus. In return, Lug agreed to make the Church of Severenz the religion of his territory, and permitted them to publicly proselytize across the kingdom. In the 400 years since, the Church and the Kingdom have continued to maintain very close relations.
I've been in town procuring some supplies for Flame. No, but do not concern yourself for my safety. I am very much stronger than I appear. I have something to ask of you.
Band of thieves has been raiding villages in the north of Fargus. Reports indicate they may have made an old tower their stronghold. Do you have any idea where it might be? Oh, this is just gathering information. I was figuring this might be one of the auxiliary battle quests, but no.
Sir, Lady Rhea lifts the spirits of all the people of Fodlan. We cannot allow her to come to any harm.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. The goddess's rite of rebirth is this month, right? The monastery gates will be thrown wide open on that day. I'll be working as a guide. I hope I get to guide some lovely ladies around.
I've heard talk of students wandering the monastery late at night. They wouldn't happen to be from your class, would they? Please keep your students in line, Professor. Kids these days.
Yeah, can't trust them.
Setting fire to the stables to distract everyone. To cause a commotion. It is the oldest trick in the book, but I cannot shake the thought that our enemies may attempt it. I will stand guard and watch over the stable, and the knight's horses. They are truly magnificent. Please, do me a favor.
I made a dreadful mistake and ended up with 2 of the same tea set. Now I must gift one of them to someone who can appreciate its value. Could you help me find someone deserving of such a precious gift?
Have you heard? Rumor has it that Death himself has been appearing in Garreg Mach. They say he appears every night and kidnaps folks. I wonder what happens to them.
They get taken to the fun fair.
So sleepy. Too sleepy. I found an interesting book in the library. Got so caught up reading it, I forgot to sleep. Interesting discovery, though. The coffins of the 4 saints in the sanctum each have their crests carved into them. I'll need to find a way down there to get a look.
What's the matter? You're running all over creation. Ah, you don't believe Lady Rhea is the real target, do you? Even so, the knights have their orders. We can't abandon our duty to guard Lady Rhea. The goddess's rite of rebirth is an important event for the Church of Seros. They say it's the day when the goddess will return to walk among us. Not too likely, if you ask me. Best if you keep that to yourself.
Professor, I hope you're well. As for me, I had a date with a splendid specimen of a knight. But now he's suddenly not in the mood to see me again. I blame all these rumors of a deathly figure showing up in town. Such an uproar must have, beyond reason, drawn his attention away from me.
Sounds plausible.
Are we really just taking Claude's word for it? If so, I doubt anything will come of this. It is all probably just some sort of distasteful joke. I find it highly unlikely that anyone would be foolish enough to barge in here and cause a disturbance.
Taking Claude's word for it that it's a distraction? Man, you're gonna have to get over your anti-Claude bias here, buddy.
How kind of you.
I will have to repay you sometime.
It would be terrible if the greenhouse was targeted. The plants in here are incredibly valuable. This place contains the heart of Garreg Mach's 995-year history. So many beautiful flowers, plants that can save or end lives. They are all my precious children.
That's not how biology works.
Hi. Right now is, well, right now is okay, I guess. If you, want to chat. A little. Hey, I get hungry sometimes. Like anyone else. What? Eating at night is bad for you? There's no way that's true. Wait, really?
No, you're right.
Something in the monastery that someone might go after? There's so much here, I couldn't possibly name just one. Even this here kitchen contains precious wares, wine bottles from centuries past and the like. I hear that stuff is fancy, but not very drinkable. I doubt anyone would go to the trouble of stealing it.
All this talk of assassination plots. It brings back dark memories I prefer to keep buried. I doubt there is any correlation, and yet... it is nothing. I am sorry for allowing my mind to wander. My focus should be solely on guarding the monastery right now.
So, I mean, obviously people have been saying the people of Dusker killed the King of Fargus, but I don't think it would be at all surprising to learn it was really those who slither in the dark.
I hear you have fought alongside Catherine. I would wager that her power exceeded your expectations. Had you the chance to witness her relic? Thunderbrand, glowing red. That glow is a sure sign that her blood contains a crest that harmonizes with that hero's relic.
Well done. You have my thanks.
Hello! I'm in charge of managing all records for the Golden Deer House. Oh, but I don't have any information of note right now. Go ahead and continue your investigation and put a little extra effort into it, please.
What?
Oh, you found it! Thank you so much. You're a sweetheart.
No classes on a festival day. I thought I'd get to spend all day relaxing in the company of some lovely ladies. But now this mess has happened. Hey, Professor. I know there's talk of an assassination attempt, but do you really think they'll do it on the day of the Rite of Rebirth? I feel like security would be looser some other time. Is there some reason why it has to happen on that day?
Yup, there is.
Fighting to stop a murdering is my specialness. No, my specialty. I will show my best work.
Professor Yuritsa seems very familiar to me, but I don't recognize his name. I guess the resemblance could be coincidental.
Oh, hey, Professor. I was just reading this letter from my father. Do you know him? He's a pretty big deal in the Empire. He only writes to ask how my training's going, or how many monsters I've killed. Stuff like that. Hey, I got a favor to ask.
You know about the fighting tournaments here at the monastery? I hear anyone can get involved. Oh, I know. You and I should sign up, Professor. Yeah, I'm down. Only the bold.
Do you know what this room is? It is the church's treasure vault. I say treasure, but I do not mean silver and gold and jewels. It mostly contains weapons, artifacts, and the like. Anything that would cause too great a stir, should it be stolen? No. The church knows better than to store anything too valuable in such an accessible location.
Alright, let's go ahead and do this tournament. You know, they say rely on allies who are proficient with swords, but it really doesn't matter if they are or not. Anyway, I think Claude is probably my best bet. Him or maybe Leone. But let's say Claude. Doesn't double. Sad.
Sorry, but victory is mine.
Guess it wouldn't have mattered if he had. Oh, now he doubles.
It was a good try. That's the golden deer for you. Sorry, but victory is mine. was a good try.
Easy.
I'm glad I asked you.
Excuse me, Professor? I just wanted to let you know that Lady Rhea is always real concerned with you. She expects great things, I think. Please don't let her down, okay? I hope you're not just saying that.
No, I would never.
Speaking, can you imagine the Archbishop being murdered? I prefer not to consider such a gruesome scenario. Awfully calm, aren't you? I wonder what it takes to rile you up.
Never mind, people seem to think that all the Knights of Seros are equal. But that isn't quite so. There are many distinguishing ranks within the Order. For example, there are squires who are training to become knights, as well as full knights, like myself. Oh, and then we have the holy knights, such as Catherine. Those are the knights that can wield a hero's relic.
I mean, how many heroes' relics are there?
Listen, the goddess's home is in the sky. She lives on a bright and shining star. But in the spring, you can't see that star. That means she can't protect Fordland. That's why we all celebrate the day when her star returns to the sky. That's the day of the rite of rebirth. See? See? I've been studying. I know just about everything.
Oh.
Have you visited the Goddess Tower? It's a sacred place used for rituals and the like. In general, students aren't allowed entry. But as you'd expect, that rule just excites their curiosity. Some have even tried sneaking in. Well, at least for this month, that kind of behavior is totally unthinkable. We have a lot more security, what with the goddess's rite of rebirth coming up.
Advice box time. I am occasionally asked to attend tea parties, but in truth, I do not care for hot beverages. I have considered waiting until it cools to drink, but I fear that it would seem rude. Yeah. Yeah, got him.
Well... About 20 or so years ago, there was a big fire in Garreg Mach. On that day, Captain Gerald went missing. Everyone thought he was dead. It never occurred to me that he might actually have survived. The truly strange part is that in all those years, he hasn't changed a bit.
Yeah, I really wish there was more of a payoff to Gerald. Maybe there will be in this playthrough.
The monastery's so big. How can we narrow down the list of possible targets? The only places I can think of are the vault and the library, and I guess that's it.
I can't stop thinking about Lonato. I'm sorry, Professor. I know this isn't the time, but I just can't get past it. Thank you. No matter what happens, I promise you I'll do my part.
Professor, I am afraid I have acted a bit childishly toward my brother recently. Given the circumstances, I requested that he provide me with some candies. Silly of me, really. The timing was improper, and I regret it very much now. Oh, but more importantly, this place is off limits, Professor. It is only open to the public on the day of the goddess's rite of rebirth.
On the day of the rite, the monastery will be open to the public, including the Holy Mausoleum. The Holy Mausoleum is where the tomb of the divine Seros lies. There she slumbers, eternally. That's pretty much all that's in there. Just an ancient coffin. It's sealed with a powerful magic to protect against would-be grave robbers.
Yep, the Divine Seros. That's definitely where she is. I'd actually kind of forgotten about that detail from the first playthrough, that, like, there was a... like, you get the sword down there. I'd forgotten that they were expecting Saros' bones to be there, and they're like, "Oh, what happened?" Well, there were never any bones, so that's why they weren't there.
That boy who assists the Archbishop. Cyril, I believe? I hear he's originally from a foreign land to the east called Almyra. I know he's still only a child, but I do wonder about his true intentions.
No racisms.
There are numerous books in this library that you cannot find anywhere else. But once you are here, you can read them easily enough. I doubt someone would go to the trouble of stealing one. Sometimes Seteth will dispose of books that are deemed inappropriate for the monastery, but that's about it. In a way, I suppose that makes those particular volumes more valuable, right?
Seems like donations to the monastery aren't actually kept here. That means the enemy isn't likely to be interested in money. We should turn our attention elsewhere. Then again, I guess some of the plants in the greenhouse could sell for a lot. But that can't really be it, can it?
No, it can't.
Unbelievable. What a terrifying story. However, an assassination attempt on Lady Rhea is doomed to fail. Pardon? You think the goal may be different than simple assassination? Intriguing. I suppose the priceless objects in this room could perhaps draw thieves. However, there's no one but me who could make use of them.
You'd best keep your distance. In this nervous state, I might just cut you down. Oh, come on, I'm only kidding.
Might you have come looking for me because you were worried about my safety? I'm quite all right.
Got it.
But your concern means a great deal.
Thanks. That was a big help. Something the church values above all else. And on the day of the rite, it'll be open to the public, making it easier than ever to get inside. That's gotta be it, right? Bullseye. We don't know the enemy's intentions, not yet, but our best bet is that their target will be the Holy Mausoleum.
Indeed. Alright, so at this point, I've done all the talking and such. Time to go spend some points. And I think we just keep doing these two.
Singing with I can't...
Claude, Lorenz. Don't work with Ignatz? I think so. Asithia? I don't remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. So, Marianne.
I do some cooking. My mother taught me when I was very young, but I can't make anything complicated. Yes, that's correct.
Looks like there's some supports, so I'm gonna go ahead and do those. Oh, it's all Violet stuff. Well, that makes sense.
Professor. Professor? There's something I need to say. Thank you. How should I put this? I don't seem to be getting along with everyone. I don't contribute much either. Am I a nuisance to you, Professor? If so, I'll leave. Of course, my adoptive father may not understand, but if I must...
I didn't know she was adopted. Guess Violet didn't either.
Oh, my adoptive father is one of the new nobles of the Alliance. His territory is to the north. He was a distant relative who took me in after my parents vanished. He's blessed with great drive and ambition. Some may go so far as to call it avarice. He wishes to marry me off to a powerful noble. That's why he sent me to the academy. If I left now, I'm sure he'd have a strong opinion about it. Sorry, I strayed away from the topic. I'm not good at telling stories either. Good. I'm glad. So, as I was saying, are you sure I'm not bothering you, Professor? Oh, I'm so grateful to hear you say that. What I'm trying to say is, you should keep your distance. I'm more trouble than I'm worth. You only say that because you don't know the real me.
I suppose that could be true.
I have to go. Professor, thank you for helping me with my training. I'd love to do this again if possible. Your advice is always so useful. Everyone thinks you're a wonderful teacher. You account for people's weaknesses while capitalizing on their strengths. Initially, I wasn't sure you paid too much attention to your students. Clearly, I was wrong. After all, were that the case, you wouldn't be capable of providing such useful feedback. I'll continue to learn and grow from your instruction, Professor. I just know it.
Alright, that's enough praise.
You think I'm determined? Professor, thank you. You're the only one who's ever praised me like that. I mean,
Sylvain
people are always telling me I've got a knack for magic. If you can call the power of my crest a knack, they aren't wrong per se. Though bearing 2 crests isn't a gift I ever asked for. Anyhow, I've made a point to work harder than most, and not rely too heavily on the power they bestow. So I find it frustrating that the only praise I seem to receive is directly related to that power. If you've noticed how hard I work, then well, it makes me very happy. Well, you see, it is because I am the only child of House Ordelia. I must do all I can for my family name. I'm determined to someday be of real value to them, and that day must come soon. I can't waste any time. I don't have much of it left. Anyway, I should be going. Thank you again for your help.
Maybe.
She's certainly much more open with the 2 crest thing with Violet than she is with some of the other characters. Not really sure why. Alright, time to eat our first meal. Head chef's mysterious specialty has been prepared just for you. Effects are enhanced for those enjoying their favorite meal. Okay. Huh. So we don't know who's gonna like it. Well, Raphael likes everything, I assume, so he'll be down. And go with Hilda, I guess, since she doesn't have a sport with Raphael yet.
When it comes to food, I don't know if I could choose between quality and quantity.
It's kind of nice to break bread with you. Got any interesting stories to tell while we eat?
These are different lines, but they don't seem to be specific to the pairing of Hilda and Raphael. Huh. Do the lines change as you get more support points? I don't remember that happening with the Black Eagles. Interesting. Alright, so we do have a couple of more people, Ignatz and Leonie, who want Probably eat something. Here we go.
This food is a revelation. I can't help but smile when I eat it.
That looks delicious. Goddess forgive me, I've just got to indulge.
So those are the same lines as normal. Maybe those are unique to those characters, or maybe there's a more complex thing going on that I haven't sussed out yet. And we got a new sport. Let's do it.
Oh, Professor, here's the map you... Well, there's always next time, I suppose.
Hey, Ignatz! Didn't you have something to talk to the professor about?
Oh no, nothing urgent. You didn't cut short your conversation because of me, did you?
Come on, do I seem like the type to do that? No, I just had a couple of questions about the bows. We're done now, so I thought I'd come and tell you.
The bows? Is something wrong with them?
Lots of them have come in for repairs lately, so I switched out some of the strings for stronger ones. They've been breaking less, but now they're harder to draw.
Ah, I see. I suppose people would prefer if you went back to the lighter bowstrings.
Maybe. If the only issue was the draw weight, I'd just tell people to get stronger arms. But the real problem is that you can't shoot as fast. The arrows also fly too far now.
I can see how slower shooting is a drawback, but the arrows flying farther, that actually sounds like a good thing.
Sure, on open plains, but up close you lose accuracy. That's why I thought it might be good to use different bowstrings for different scenarios. I wanted the professor's opinion about that.
Oh, good point. You know a lot about bows, don't you?
Guess I do. I grew up in a hunting village, so I've been around them my whole life. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily better than anyone, but at least I know what I'm doing. And you? Do you have something you're really good at?
Yes.
Me? Oh no, I don't think so.
Well, I'm sure you'll find your thing someday.
I hope so.
Aww. What you do, you're good at the art. Okay, so we've got everyone at max motivation. So we can go do some more Byleth training with the faculty.
You'd best keep your distance.
Unbelief, pardon, intrigue.
The glory of progress.
I've been in town.
What's the matter? Even so, the goddess, they say not to.
Alright, so that's all the points spent. I'll do some wrapping up, giving gifts and or lost items rather, and fishing maybe and stuff like that off screen, and then it'll be let's see, off to, well, this will be the, I mean, this will be the end of the episode, and then next time, I don't know, I might, once again, I'm not sure whether I'm going to show the instructions or not, but at the very least, you know, there will be next weekend and doing whatever we can do next weekend, which apparently we don't only have the option of exploring, so that's good. Anyway, until then.